till Iran, till Irak. De ska hänga dig där. Du ska bli avundsjuk. Det är det du ska bli. Din lilla import.
Hi everyone, Angry Foreigner here, live from Sweden, hiding in the woods from all the angry Muslims.
Today's video is about a really shocking piece of news. Are you ready? It turns out that Muslims are angry. I know, right? It's completely unheard of. Never before has this taken place in history. I mean, when's the last time you saw an angry Muslim man? When's the last time you ever heard anyone raise their voice in the Middle East? This is so shocking that we need a 24/7-hour news cycle droning on about the same thing over and over and over again, because just in case you missed it, Muslims are officially angry. Again, shocking news, isn't it?
Macho Man Randy Savage is on the phone.
Fuck the Macho Man Randy Savage, let him talk!
Macho.
You jabroni, yeah. The reason why your wife don't fuck you is because she wants a real man like the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Fuck you and fuck your wife! I have a tenant's card! I jump with your fucking! I am fucking your ass! I want to show you my fucking tenant's card!
She can take
Do
it
you
as
get
cock.
message? Fuck you and fuck your fucking ass! You are not good, jabroni Jew!
Personally, what I find shocking is that in the relatively short time that has passed since I last covered this topic, Swedish people have managed to become even more Islamist. Now, even more of them want to ban blasphemy against religious scriptures. There's been an 11% increase in this opinion since last time we covered it, and now we have a clear majority with 53% of the Swedish people wanting to make blasphemy illegal. So let me get this straight. Muslims are angry because Christians are so persecuted in their countries that they need to become refugees in the first place, and then once they reach liberal European nations, like Sweden for example, they cherish in their right to freedom of speech. Only to see Swedish people side more with the Islamists than the persecuted minorities they always pretend to care about. All it takes is some global outrage from countries nobody ever cares about otherwise, and a Swede is immediately willing to conform, because allegedly that seems to be what Swedish culture is. A constant yearning for someone to tell you what to think. So who cares about the logical inconsistencies that are shooting off all over the place, right? Who cares about all the ex-Muslims with liberal values that came to your country thinking you value freedom, only to learn that the word liberal actually means eternal cock cage? Only 34% of Swedish people say that Quran burnings should be allowed. So only 34% of Swedes believe in freedom of speech. Interesting. Even more hilarious is that women naturally outweigh men when it comes to toxic positivity and conformity. Swedish women, to a higher degree, sympathize with the Islamists. Shocker. 63% of Swedish women think that blasphemy should be illegal. Let's see all of those thinking with your dick kind of conservative American try and get hard now, huh? All of you supposed traditionalists, let's see you try and pop a boner before Ingrid here now, huh? All you dumbasses talking about how hot Swedish women are can appreciate them even more when they're all wearing hijabs by next election. And when they do, you can think real deep and hard about the fact that literally nobody made Swedish people cuck themselves this hard. They just organically got a talent for it. Now we're gonna get into all of it. We're gonna dig deep into a ton of different sources and angles surrounding this whole mess, because as today's topic shows, cancel culture really blows. So make sure you take a second to really appreciate the sponsor of my channel, as every purchase with my code keeps this angry foreigner well fed so that he can outrun angry Muslim hordes and hide in the forest. forest, where he will survive out in the wild, safe with the commission from his CBD sponsor money. Check out the link in the video description. EU-regulated hemp oil, as well as buds and muscle recovery rescue cream for the athletes. 100% legal, and if you want to try it out, then you get 15% off on all products when you use the holy code Ariblatte. Every purchase with this code helps this channel survive, and I personally endorse this company due to the quality of their products. I personally know the people involved. They're very serious, very knowledgeable, and they know what they're doing. Make this your regular CBD provider, and you'll know what you're doing as well. Oh, and by the way, for all of my Swedish viewers out there, I just recently became 100% assimilated by doing a sommartal för Sweb-TV. Ja, men de har du ju hört talas om, va? Ja. Programmet har fått väldigt god respons och det är en mycket underhållande timme har jag fått höra, så kolla gärna in mitt sommartal. Link is in the video description.
Sweden is has the same value set that we have in NATO, has a small nation but has the capacity to defend itself. You know better than anyone, the holdup is Turkey. Turkey and Sweden is making adjustments in their law to relate to whether or not have people burning the Quran. Well, they aren't Swedes that are burning the Quran. They are immigrants who are burning the Quran, and that gives an excuse and/or puts Erdogan in a tough spot at home.
I just have to comment on this clip since I've had it sent to me. And I just truly find it funny how even America's leftist president still isn't as woke as your average Swede, especially your average Swede politician. Because Biden can actually spell out who is doing what, and that some people aren't Swedish, unlike our mainstream media and establishment here in Sweden. Do we really need Biden to speak the truth on Sweden and break through one of our major media taboos? I mean, do we really need that? It should really tell you something about the state and quality that this country is in. I'm just gonna be honest as usual and tell you that I find the whole controversy on the Quran burnings nonsensical and just plain weird. I mean, what is even going on here? The entire world is suddenly angry at an atheist Western country for being atheist? Really? You've never heard of the Swedish sin before? And pondered where the stereotype of horny blonde people comes from? Sweden is not a Muslim country. It's a country known for naked pagans. Everybody knows this. So why are people shocked by its freedom of speech blasphemy stance on religion? If you look up the countries who have officially criticized Sweden's freedom of speech, you will find a number of highly unsuccessful, completely insignificant Muslim bungholes together with the United States. Really? Who are you even allied with at this point, America? Muslim countries and China? Is that it? How come the West as a whole is not standing with Sweden here against the uncivilized Middle Eastern world that's willing to have violent riots because someone did something to their book in an entirely non-Muslim country? Yeah, no, I truly do find that strange, and also an expression of what makes NATO problematic. How come geopolitics comes with the demand to make Sweden even more Islamized?
Horunge! Du ska bli utlämnad till Iran, till Irak. De ska hänga dig där. Du ska bli avhuggen. Det är det du ska bli. Din lilla import. Kan inte ens svenska. Ändå lägger ni ner så här mycket resurser på den här jävla horungen. Så mycket resurser, poliser, pengar, våra gator i Sverige. Varför får han rätten att demonstrera när han inte ens är en svensk medborgare? Kan ni svara på det? Varför?
Okay, so let's see if I'm following here. This woman started out as an angry Islamist, and then she became a white supremacist, and then she just became an angry taxpayer. What's even going on in this clip? This isn't Pokemon, bitch. You don't gotta catch them all.
Why does he not like Brian Blair?
Because it's a fact! I said, you don't like my marijuana? You don't like the correct diameter marijuana? Get the fuck out of the car. Otherwise, keep your fucking mouth shut. And you don't want to shake out to the sheik? Sheik suplex you, put you in the camel clutch, break your back, and fuck your ass. I'll make you humble. Have a good day, Mr. Baltimore War. What's the fucking Hulk Hogan?
There is now a debate in this country about banning blasphemy and restricting freedom of speech, and it looks like the intolerant side is about to win. How did we even end up here? Is this what NATO's geopolitics demands of us? To succumb even further into theocracy and Islamization? To just suck up to countries like Turkey and screw over the Kurdish people who did the best job at fighting ISIS? You remember ISIS, right? Yeah, everyone talked about ISIS a while back, until the Kurds took care of them. Who did the most down there at the battlefront, huh? The Kurdish people have a right to be acknowledged for that effort, to exist and to be respected within Turkey. But now this Islamist microdick is finding yet another way to oppress the Kurdish people and their cause by exploiting Sweden's casting couch-esque desperation to join NATO. Well, congratulations, Miss Sweden. You truly have the spine of an unscrupulous porno slut. I just feel bad for all the immigrants who came here to Sweden wanting something different than their home country, wanting to get away from Sharia and the political influence of religion. Oh, if only people had listened to the angry foreigner many years ago when I warned about Islamization, instead of problematizing the word Islamization because it sounds racist. While your freedom of speech is being dismantled and political Islam is successfully on the rise in your country. Now all the migrants who come to Sweden looking forward to living in a Western country, living where Muslims aren't the ones who decide, living without the fear of death because they left Islam, now those immigrants get to see how even these blonde, white, atheist people side with the Islamists, submit to Islam, apologize for the ones who practice freedom of speech, and start debating on whether or not we should introduce blasphemy laws. And all the supposedly atheist, supposedly liberal people can do is obey. Well, all I can really do as a common citizen is just remind you people that the official Angry Foreigner merch store is finally back up online, where you can buy classics such as Kiss My Ass 100% Halal Certified. And not to mention classics such as I might not go down in history, but I will go down on your sister. And beer plus bacon equals civilization. Links are in the bio. And you might especially find my fashionable anti-Islamist attire to be relevant when you hear what Muslim countries are doing next. In response to the Quran burnings, Muslim countries like Kuwait are printing 100,000 Qurans in the Swedish language, and these books will be distributed to libraries, schools, mosques, and other institutions throughout Sweden. The translation work for this Islamization effort was carried out by Mohammed Knut. Yet another well-known example of Swedish Stockholm Syndrome. Here's some hard-hitting mainstream media journalism for you. Quote, "The reason Sweden allows Quran burning despite international anger." End of quote. I love how Sweden's atheism has finally acquired global headlines. Funny how the implication in this headline is that you should give in to people who are angry just because they are angry.
Tell Mr. Howard, don't tell me. Don't lie to me. I'll beat the fuck out of you too. Fuck you, punk. I'll beat the fuck out of you. 93,000 people in the Pontiac, Michigan, and still I can fuck your bitch. I'll beat that bad German beer.
Mr. Blair, what do you want to say?
Yeah, go take another hairbrush in your ass.
Fuck you, punk.
All right, okay.
Fucking piece of
shit.
You're a piece of shit.
All right.
Son
This is
your
not going
sister.
anywhere.
I fuck her pussy.
All right. Well,
Sorry about that, Robin. Sorry about Gary. Where's Gary?
Gary, that's Will.
What? You're a punk, piece of shit, no good.
Yeah.
He tell me if Mr. Donald Trump beats you, can he fuck your ass? Can you imagine this punk? Dumb face.
Hey, Sheik, no. That's
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Yeah, you make me excited now. And you too. I should have thrown the beer to your fucking face.
Well, this is something else, Robin.
Well, how does this all come together? I mean, how come a bunch of liberal atheists then, to such a large degree, agree with these angry Islamists and want to ban Quran burnings despite not really being religious themselves? Well, my dear viewer, this is the point where you thank the heavens above for finding this fantastic YouTube channel that gives you the scoop you will not get anywhere else. The answer to the riddle and questions that have been driving you mad. Here it goes. It's because, in addition to being an atheist, the Swede is also a complete and utter pussy. Swedish culture is defined as being the absolute most feminine in the entire world, and the main Swedish virtues are conformity and agreeability, just like a woman. So get this, I have actually spoken to numerous Swedish people just in the past week alone who have brought up the news in conversation completely on their own and started talking about how it should be illegal to burn religious books because it's not nice and it hurts people's feelings. End of quote. Literally, that's all the logic I got from these ethnically Swedish citizens. This mindless yearning to be kind and agreeable, even to people who are screaming you in the face.
I fuck her pussy.
And so, living here for so many years, I've begun to understand that pretty much any tyrannical authoritarian policy can be motivated by a crowd of normies yelling, "But it's nicer that way! Just be quiet and stop kerfuffling. Most of us are doing fine." Seriously, you can explain any level of authoritarianism with the middle class just being morally lazy and only interested in working like ants. Like, that's all you people want to live for. Keep your head down and you'll be fine. We're not in prison, you know. Last, but certainly not least, here's a cute story of diversity and positive surprise that ends up not being so cute when you think about it. A Syrian Muslim obtained permission from the Swedish police to burn the Jewish Torah and the Christian Bible in front of the Israeli embassy in Stockholm. This caused strong reactions, and Israel's UN ambassador even demanded that it be stopped. He wasn't listened to. Then, when the protest finally went down, the Muslim shocked everyone by saying that he's not gonna set fire to anything. He just wanted to bring attention to his stance that no religious books should ever be burned. Period. Quote, "I am a Muslim, and I cannot burn sacred and religious books. There is a difference between freedom of expression and insulting ethnic groups. Burning the Quran and burning other religious books should be considered a hate crime." End of quote. And, well, no, it really shouldn't. It's awfully cute how you went about all of this, all peaceful and stuff, not like the usual, you know.
Fuck your fucking ass. You are not good, jabroni Jew.
But your take is just still horrible. I mean, come on, this is the best that we can get? Hate speech laws only exist to make people scared of expressing their opinions and bring in tons of income to the government when they tell the cops to prioritize those minor offenses that are easy to solve over murder and rape. Do you know how I know this to be true? Because I live in Sweden, where this is actually happening for many years now, and tons of old people here have been convicted in court for writing angry comments on the internet right after reading articles about how their country is being plagued by gang rape and migrant gang shootings. Essentially, get punished for reacting reacting emotionally to what's happening to your country. That's the definition of what a hate speech law is. That's all hate speech laws could ever accomplish. So no, hate speech laws are a profoundly dumb idea that open up for such a wide interpretation of what's offensive that just testing the boundaries and practicing freedom of speech as a critic of Islam would be something that would have to be settled in court. So even if you end up being innocent, you'd still risk spending months in court thinking about a jail sentence just because you practiced blasphemy in a secular country. That's all hate speech laws can accomplish, a legal gray area that opens up for a huge pain in the ass for anyone even considering freedom of speech. And it kind of says something when this is the nicest Muslim reaction I've seen to the Quran burnings. Other reactions just consist of guys like this.
I'll fuck your ass! I'll make you humble! Have a good day!
And just to contrast with the Muslim migrant who didn't want to burn the Torah and the Bible because he feels all religions should be respected, here's a 30-year-old migrant who did precisely that. He expressed his discontent with Paludan, the man who burned the Quran, by burning the Bible, burning the Torah, and along with burning Denmark, Sweden's, and Israel's flags. And this Muslim migrant did all this while celebrating the Ayatollah Khamenei. So here's the crucial difference if you want to just wrap this entire topic up in a nutshell. When this Muslim went out of his way to offend Christians and Jews, they did not respond with violence, riots, and cars set on fire. You can't say that about the Danish politician named Rasmus Paludan or the Christian Arab who has protested Islam. When these two guys set fire to the Quran, sparking physical outrage and threats against public safety. You literally have two cases to compare with here in Sweden of which is the true religion of peace. Spoiler alert, it's anything but Islam. Can we now finally get rid of this leftarded idea that Christianity and Islam and Judaism are all the same? Christianity does not have this problem. Buddhism doesn't have this problem. Hinduism doesn't have this problem. Judaism doesn't have this problem. Only Islam demands complete dominion and submission of the West. Look at the pattern clearly and then try to tell me that I'm wrong. That's all for this time, folks. I hope you enjoyed this angry foreigner ranting. Don't forget to give back and support my channel so I can afford to buy some bacon and scare off people who are looking to cut off my head. Bacon is fantastic self-defense here in multicultural Sweden. And so is alcohol, actually. That's why I smell like beer and a bit of vodka all the time, because it's self-defense. Yeah, right. Self-defense. And you can donate to make sure that I am self-defended. All right. Links are in the video description. Check back in a week and I'll see you soon again.